At family dinner, my sister's voice cut through the chatter. Mom and Dad said you never contribute anything to this family. Everyone laughed. I smiled. The kind that hides years of restraint. My name is Shirley Moore. 32, the quiet one, the one who never fought back. They saw a woman who failed to impress. What they didn't see was the $8,000 I wired each month to keep this perfect house from foreclosure. I'd been buying their peace while they sold my dignity. So when Lauren said I'd never contributed, I finally agreed. Perfect, I told them. Then the payments stopped today. Dad choked on his drink. Mom went pale. They wanted truth. They got an invoice. The roast chicken sat in the center of the table, golden and perfect, like everything my mother touched. She believed beauty could hide rot, and maybe she was right for a while. Lauren kept talking. Marble countertops, heated floors, another renovation bought on credit and pride. Derek smiled like a man auditioning for approval. Mom beamed. Dad sipped his wine, pretending he didn't hear the tension in the air. I cut my food into smaller pieces. That was my ritual. Stay quiet. Stay invisible. Let their words roll over me like smoke. Then Lauren's tone changed. We've been talking, she said, squeezing Mom's hand. It's time we address something as a family. The air thickened. Even Tyler stopped fidgeting. You're 32, still renting. Still driving that old car. You're not moving forward, Shirley. You're not contributing. You're just existing. Each word landed like a pin pulled from a grenade. Aunt Patricia nodded. Mom dabbed her eyes. As if pity were compassion. Dad wouldn't meet my gaze. I have a good job, I said quietly. I pay my bills. Lauren laughed, soft and cruel. Are you sure you're not just surviving? Silence spread like smoke after a fire. Forks scraped plates. Someone's glass clinked too hard. Mom finally looked at me, eyes full of apology she'd never say. Dad shifted in his chair, his guilt too heavy to mask. I swallowed the heat rising in my throat. Let them think they'd broken me. Because sometimes surrender isn't defeat, it's strategy. They thought they'd silenced me. They just taught me where to aim. And somewhere under that perfect chandelier, I started planning my exit. That night I couldn't sleep. The roast still lingered like guilt. Laughter replayed, sharp as glass. Applause echoed longer than the words. I sat on my balcony, city lights breathing below. 1,000 windows, 1,000 better stories. Between the noise and quiet, a memory surfaced. 3 years earlier, a knock after 9. Dad stood smaller than I remembered, shrunk by shame, not age. Can I come in? He asked. We sat at my little kitchen table. He stared at the wood grain, not me. The business failed, he said. The partner disappeared. We refinanced twice. They're going to take the house. If your mother learns everything, he whispered, it will break her. His hands shook sliding statements toward me. How much? I asked. He swallowed. $8,000 a month. The number hit like cold water. I did the math. A recent promotion. Senior strategist. I could cover it, barely. My down payment would become their lifeline. I'll help, I said. Because daughters patch cracks we didn't make. We shoulder debts we didn't cause. It's temporary, he promised. Months, maybe a year. He meant it when he said it. That was 36 payments ago. 3 years of skipping trips and careful groceries. 3 years of saying no to joy. 3 years of them calling me selfish. While my savings disappeared into their mortgage. What burned wasn't the money. It was how little it meant. In their version, I was the disappointment. In mine, I was the silent scaffold. I looked at the freeway glow. Headlights fell like brief meteors. For once, I didn't feel small. I felt emptied, then strangely light. Freedom doesn't roar. Sometimes it's a backpack finally lifted. Your spine lengthens, your breath arrives. You realize how long you've been stooping. They thought their judgment broke me. I had only bent, storing force. Quiet isn't weakness. It's compression before release. I counted the transfers. 36 deposits, 36 swallowed humiliations. A ledger of love they never balanced. Contribution isn't marble and curated milestones. It's choices you carry when nobody claps. There were other costs, the quiet kind. The startup I didn't join. The Hawaii trip I declined. A good man I let drift away. Because a future meant math I couldn't share. At work, I thrived. At home, I rationed light and noise. I became fluent in excuses, so no one would discover the truth. They benefited from my silence. Tomorrow would not. I'd show them contribution with timestamps and totals. Not apologies, boundaries. Not speeches, numbers. 8,000 ways to say no. In the morning, I'd stop paying and start being heard. The room held its breath with the steam. Napkins waited like small flags of control. Lauren lifted her glass, closing the intervention. "Glad we're aligned," she said. "Time to improve." I nodded once. "Great," I said. "Then something changes tonight." Derek smirked. "Finally taking responsibility?" I opened my phone. Banking app. The table leaned in for gossip. 3 years, I said evenly. 36 payments. 8,000 each. I set the screen by the centerpiece. Transfers glowed in the silverware. Dad coughed, then truly choked. Mom's smile died without ceremony. Aunt Patricia missed her water glass. Lauren squinted, then went quiet. "What is that?" she asked, already knowing. "Their mortgage," I said. "Since your housewarming?" Silence grabbed every throat at once. "Dad asked me," I added. "He begged secrecy." Mom found air. "You promised we'd discuss privately." "You promised temporary," I said. "Months, maybe a year." Derek did the math aloud. 288,000, he breathed. I kept my eyes on Lauren. "You said I never contribute," I said. "So let's match stories." I tapped the screen. "Effective tomorrow, the payments stop." Dad's fork hit porcelain. "Shirley, please, not here." "Where then?" I asked. "Where I'm invisible?" Mom's eyes filled with late grief. "We had an arrangement." "No," I said. "You had a secret. Maintained with my money and your silence." Aunt Patricia whispered. "She's right," then stared down. Tyler watched adults lose their costumes. "This is manipulation," Lauren snapped. "You're punishing them." "This is a boundary," I said. "Punishment ends. Boundaries begin." Derek tried calm authority. "Be rational." "Rational," I echoed. "Humiliate me first, facts later? Call me useless over dinner I helped fund?" I slid the phone to Dad. "Swipe," I said. "Count the months." Mom touched the screen like it forgives. "We didn't know," she whispered. "You knew enough to let them clap," I said. "You watched me shrink and said nothing." Lauren's voice softened, then cracked. "Why didn't you tell us?" "Because you'd perform gratitude," I said, "and keep spending like applause was income." Dad stood, then folded back down. His shoulders told what words never did. "Please," he said. "We'll fix this. Don't stop." I shook my head. "I'm stopping tomorrow." I canceled the automation. One press. 36 months ended with a ping. The sound outlived every toast. I holstered the phone like a cooled fact. "If contribution is appearances," I said, "you win. If contribution is sacrifice, I'm already undefeated." I rose. The chair scraped like a clock. "Enjoy dinner," I said. "Last one I funded." Mom reached and missed my sleeve. "Shirley, wait," she begged. I paused beneath the chandelier's plain light. "Start contributing," I said, "to the truth." I turned at the doorway once. "If I'm nothing, I remove everything I give." The calls would start before I reached the car. Tomorrow, the money stops. Tonight, the silence does. The calls started before I reached the car. Dad, then Mom, then Lauren. I let them ring into the night. Silence finally chose me back. At home, the doorbell cut through quiet. Aunt Patricia stood holding a casserole. "Your mother's recipe," she said softly. "Peace offering or guilt?" I asked. She blinked. "Both." I let her in. "This is nice," she murmured, looking around. "Cozy. Smaller than I imagined." "Everyone imagines me smaller," I said. She swallowed. "Tonight was wrong." "You nodded along," I replied. "I believe the performance," she said. "I'm sorry." "Sorry is cheaper than honest," I answered. "She's devastated," Patricia said of Mom. "She's devastated, the mirror cracked," I said. Not that I bled polishing it. Patricia had nothing left. She left the dish. And silence. Lauren called again. Then again. The fourth time I answered. "Please," she said, "can we talk?" Her voice sounded human for once. Morning, a coffee shop with fogged windows. No audience, just us and steam. Lauren looked smaller without applause. Mascara slept under tired eyes. "I was cruel," she began. "I was performing. I'm sorry." I stirred my coffee. "Why now?" "Derek did the math," she said. "Dad told me everything. I saw your transfers reflected in silver." She exhaled. "I was jealous." "Of what?" I asked. "Freedom," she said too fast. "You didn't carry a mortgage, or a staged life, or applause." "I carried theirs," I said. "You mocked what you couldn't see." She nodded. "We can help now. Derek and I can cover half." And the other half? I asked. You? She offered, hopeful. No, I said. That chapter ended. Her shoulders took the hit. They'll lose the house, she whispered. Maybe they should, I answered. Downsize, unlearn, pay with reality. You don't mean that. I do, I said, calm. They spent my compassion like credit, called it concern, then clapped. They can learn budgets. I'll keep boundaries. She studied me like a stranger. What do you want then? Respect, I said. Not performance. Honesty, even when it's ugly. Tears gathered. She didn't blink. I made you small, she said. I needed to feel big. That's done now, I said. Back at work, the world stayed simple. Deadlines, mock-ups, deliverables that delivered. Marcus asked if I felt lighter. Yes, I said, finally. That evening, Dad called again. A neighbor's number this time. We were scared, he said. Scared, ashamed, and foolish. I know, I said. Accurate. We'll try counseling, he offered. Start with honesty, I said. No more secrets, no scapegoats. He agreed like learning language. I opened my banking app again. No automation, no vanishing. Just a balance that meant me. Lauren texted later, one clean line. We'll cover what we can, and apologize where we must. I let myself believe an inch. Then I guarded the mile. They wanted me smaller. I'm taking my space and keeping it. Months passed quietly, like the world had exhaled. No more family interventions. No more secret deposits at midnight. Just peace, steady and unfamiliar. My parents sold the house. The for sale sign looked strange in their perfect lawn. Mom cried the day it came down. But when I visited the new condo, she smiled for real. Smaller, but honest. Lauren and Derek moved too. Sold the house with the marble bathroom. Traded it for something simpler, lighter. They'd started counseling, therapy, budgeting, words we never used at our old table. Sometimes Dad called on Sundays. He didn't ask for help. He asked if I was eating well. That was new. Mom mailed me a framed photo. Our family at therapy, exhausted but real. She'd written on the back, "The day we stopped pretending." Lauren visited one evening, hands full of baby clothes. "I want my child to know you," she said. "The real you, not the version I created." I smiled. That's the only one left. I kept my small apartment another year. Then I bought my own place. 2 bedrooms, sunlight through big windows, a mortgage that felt earned, not owed. I adopted a dog, named him Miles, because distance had saved me. Some nights I still think of that dinner. The applause, the silence that followed, the moment I said the payments would stop. It used to feel like rebellion. Now it feels like beginning. Contribution isn't measured in applause. It's measured in boundaries, in honesty, and in knowing when to stop giving. If you've ever been told you're not enough, remember, peace begins when you stop apologizing for your worth. Have you ever faced something like this? Tell me in the comments.